Bitcoin Amsterdam 2023, and I'm here with, Bitcoin OG from the Netherlands, Jan-Willem. Maybe you can explain
I'm
the best
flattered that
what
you describe
do.
me in that way.
Yeah, the community finds you a Bitcoin OG, and I know you're very busy in the Bitcoin space, so perhaps you're one, right?
I'm very flattered. I still sometimes have the feeling like I showed up late, but
Late to the show, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I guess 2013 maybe wasn't that late. At this point in time.
My story also began in 2013, but
Okay.
not. I think it was more underground than perhaps what you did. Because what did you do from the start in 2013?
Well, I started out as a Bitcoin enthusiast, and then I did quite a lot of things. I started giving presentations at some point, and like workshops and things like that. And then I did a couple of workshops together with a IT company, a French IT company called Capgemini.
Oh yeah.
I worked with them a few years as their blockchain lead. Then I made a podcast about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Always kept doing the education thing. I still do Bitcoin education. I teach.
Blockchain was in that time really a subject that were talked a lot about.
That was the title. Yeah, so blockchain lead, which basically meant about 20-25% Bitcoin things.
Okay.
And 75% innovation projects is what I would describe it.
Blockchain and innovation is very intertwined. So.
Yes. Yeah. So done quite a few different things.
What do you do now?
So I teach university courses about Bitcoin to computer science and engineering students.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I organize together with a couple of other people BitDevs Amsterdam and the Amsterdam Bitcoin meetup.
Yeah, there was one this Wednesday.
Yes.
In the afternoon. With a lot of Bitcoin core developers. Josie was also there, I thought.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's our agenda master. So he kind of sets up the agenda and leads everybody through what the topics are. So he's wonderful. And we had quite a few people there, 45 people, and so it's been growing the past year. So that's really nice. Yeah.
And do you think that's typical the Netherlands that we gather here with protocol developers? Because I know that Bitonic also had a lot of developers there. I think last month or something.
I would say we have a fairly big technical community in the Netherlands, also developers.
Yeah, and businesses also.
Yeah, and businesses also. And I mean, the BitDevs is starting to grow in the last year that we started it. We have now a nice community, and still technical people are learning about it. And I would say we have a pretty good community here.
And in its core, Bitcoin is worldwide, of course, so it's very international, and a lot of people also at Bitonic are very international. So of course, that's what I always like, that a lot of people are building on the same things and want to work together. So that's great. And you teach at universities, and do you also is it only lecturing or also doing workshops or physical things with programming or building nodes, or what is it about?
Good question. So I've built this particular course that I'm talking about. I built it about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I've now done it one time, set to do it another time shortly. And it was mostly theoretical, although I did have them parse transactions. But in the next edition, there will also be a very practical side that they have to build up their own Bitcoin server and things like that. Yeah. But that's like the second iteration of the course.
Yeah, of course. But I can imagine that it makes it more tangible, that students really see the magic there, or understand it, grasp the concept, because it's difficult to understand it only theoretical.
Absolutely, 100%. Agreed.
Well, some people can, they can visualize it, but other ones need to see it, right?
Absolutely,
So,
completely agree.
But it's great that you're doing that. And do you also have students that in the past or something that maybe were building a business around the things that they learn, or think, well, I'm figuring out something, a project, or maybe a spin-off?
Yeah, I would say quite a few people that I've taught over the years have gone on to do Bitcoin things actually. So
Okay, that's nice.
yeah, a few of the people. So when I was at Capgemini, I built a team there, and one of the guys now is building a wallet in Latin America. There's another one that works at a Bitcoin company in the Netherlands. There's another one that wrote some books related to Bitcoin, and so there's always. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people who came out of that doing things with Bitcoin
That's a good
afterwards.
sign. And I think for you it's great to see, well, you're doing Bitcoin education on a higher level, and to really see that students are busy still working in the same area.
Absolutely, and there's actually a lot of students who get really enthusiastic about Bitcoin and want a job in the space. But it's difficult for them to find one.
It is.
But there's a lot of enthusiasm.
And do you have some tips for that? Because I also talked a lot with developers who are not into Bitcoin. For example, I did a Chain Code Labs course, and a lot of developers were there from the normal technical space or from Linux, and they are interested. So that's the first spark, and are learning to do some stuff there. And I also talked to Lisa from Blockstream yesterday, and she also has a lot of courses for people that are wanting to get in and to use Developer Kit, for example, that makes it easy to build upon Bitcoin or Lightning or.
Yeah, so tips in that regard, I don't know. It's maybe the best tip I would have is maybe start with looking at different kinds of open projects that are going on, and just try to start contributing.
Yeah, that's a great way.
Keep your eyes open. Like there are a lot of jobs for developers and so on that come by and list, but they're quite competitive.
Yeah.
So start building something. So a lot of the people I know that started working in the Bitcoin space, oftentimes they started as a contributor to some kind of, as a volunteer to some project, to I don't know, Blue Wallet or whatever. As a volunteer, and at some point they got hired to actually work at a company.
Yeah, so contribute, and perhaps because that's what I hear also a lot is I want this and it doesn't exist. Maybe building it and
trying to create something.
Trying to create something, and then so really trying to sell yourself with the experience you can gain by building yourself.
Absolutely, and also
it's not easy.
Maybe try to visit a conference or two. That's also a good way. One thing that I think we're lacking in the Bitcoin space, which I think would be really great. Conference is a good way to meet people and also maybe to network and find some opportunities. But it'd be really nice if we had something like a Bitcoin job fair. Or something like a Bitcoin founders fair where entrepreneurs can meet each other, because I also meet a lot of people that want to find someone to work together and start on some project, and they just cannot find each other.
So not only a conference to network, but really and not through a platform, but really meet each other and know that, well, I'm searching for a job and you're searching for people.
So platforms are good, but also something in person could be very, very good. And conferences are also okay for that, but they're not focused.
No.
A job fair can be very, very focused. And I think this is the kind of thing that we're lacking. I've actually had a few people talked about that in the Netherlands, and a lot of people got quite excited about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe something for our national association to set up.
And in the
bull
market, then we need more people even. So,
absolutely.
And to find the good ones. I was also thinking, well, in the app from the Bitcoin Amsterdam conference, you can also say, well, I'm searching for a job, but it's not focused like you said.
It's
about
not focused.
Searching for jobs.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, would be great. I was thinking one thing that you also do.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, at university, but you're also working sometimes for businesses who are working for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Do you have also Lightning experience lately in some kind of Lightning business, or?
A reasonable amount. So the last
Okay.
year I worked
Yeah.
for a Bitcoin company called Sranan.
Yeah.
And so they have a wallet with
Yeah,
Lightning.
that's
So
right.
I experienced quite a bit of the ins and outs of what it's like to develop Lightning and make it intuitively easy for people to use and so on.
Awesome. Well, then to my final question, because
Sure.
Synonym, Lightning, the Lightning network as a whole. If you look at it now, do you think Lightning is something that would, in the end, will keep Bitcoin from keep it existing and is necessary for Bitcoin to have mass adoption, for example?
So I have an opinion on this, but it's not very original. All the really Lightning experts would probably tell you the same thing. So,
yeah, well, I heard what Sam Wouters was saying from River about the state of the Lightning network, that it's really flourishing.
Sure.
But yeah, well, it's interesting to have
so,
your take on it.
So here's my take.
All right. Make up your own.
Lightning Network will help us scale to a next level.
Yeah.
Maybe tens of millions of users, but definitely not to be a global payment system.
Okay.
At least I don't see now how that would work. Maybe there are some innovations in the future that would make that different. But it almost seems like you have to build something on top of Lightning. The alternatives, of course, that there may come some alternative idea to Lightning.
Perhaps.
That works better on Bitcoin, so that's a possibility as well. But in my view, Lightning is certainly good for scaling Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
But in the future, for various reasons, I don't see just Lightning getting us to 1 billion Bitcoin users, let's say.
All right, we're here with Bert today on the Bitcoin Amsterdam conference, and you're seeing here a great thing that you built because you're from Bitcoin Brabant. I'm saying Brabant on an English accent, but what is it?
Brabant is a province in the Netherlands, and I named the company Bitcoin Brabant because I thought we would be able to create a Bitcoin standard in a small province in the Netherlands first.
Yeah.
So let's go for it.
Yeah. Well, it isn't that small, but you're absolutely right. You can start anywhere. So starting right away with a mining rig like this is a great thing, of course. And what do you do more? Because you're also from VBNL in the Netherlands.
Yeah, so I'm the chairman of the United Dutch Bitcoin Companies. So all the Bitcoin companies that have a registration with the Dutch Central Bank are working together to be the voice towards the regulators.
Yeah, so one voice.
Yes, and then I'm the chairman of that, so awesome. Most of the time I'm physically the face of all the Bitcoin companies in the Netherlands.
Yeah. And what is the most important thing at the moment for VBNL to
so what we are currently trying to do is that with the Dutch Association of Banks, we are trying to make it more accessible for Bitcoin companies to actually get a bank account, because that's almost impossible. So we're trying to get that in order, so actually innovation can happen again in the Netherlands. And next to that, we are working on the MiCA registration, of course, together with the companies to see how we can do that optimally within Europe.
And do you also think that maybe with the work you're doing here, together with all those companies, perhaps other countries in Europe could also benefit in some way?
Yeah, definitely, because you can operate more easily across Europe. So for companies, the accessibility will increase.
Yeah, indeed. And we're a Lightning-focused podcast, so we're always talking about adoption of Lightning and all the technical aspects of it. We were yesterday on a meetup where we all paid with Lightning. Some people paid on-chain, and we together were also on a meetup not so long ago. How do you see the adoption of Lightning in countries who are not developing countries? Is it important that it's massively used?
Yeah, it's crazy important. So for my little son, I bought some shoes in Arnhem. Arnhem is Bitcoin City, and there are more than, I think, 60, 70 shops there that accept Bitcoin. And of course that works with Lightning because that's the payment layer that you use. And it's really nice because when you then pay, for instance, and you're standing in a line, and he's paying with Bitcoin, and then everybody's talking about Bitcoin in the shop, you know, and so it's really great to show that that you pay with it. And at my local butcher, I'm already paying for I think more than 2 years all my stuff that I buy there, and I go there twice or 3 times a week, I think. So people in the town also see me paying every time with Bitcoin, which is actually faster than with the traditional bank account, you know, with your card, you have to get it out. No, it's just your phone,
it's instantly.
And and also for him, it has been quite some saving. So, and he, when he travels abroad sometimes, he actually uses it. So it becomes a global adoption in this way, you know. The Lightning Network is critical for that.
That's right. And what's your take then on the onboarding? Because you have to put your fiat money into Lightning nowadays, perhaps in the future when everybody's earning on Lightning.
That depends. You can also mine.
Yeah, that's right.
So there are a lot of people, you know, especially in the Netherlands, you know, in the winter when it's cold, they buy a cheap heater, you know, a cheap old miner that we refurbished, and then, you know, they stack some sats, which is just like this machine has been on for quite a while, and we stacked €1 of Bitcoin, you know. So you can imagine that it takes a bit of time, but then you can actually put that in an app and then convert it to Lightning, and then you can pay everywhere.
And make it simpler. So if you have a miner in your home in a simple way for non-Bitcoiners or for starters, then to have also a Lightning node. And then you can, of course...
of course you can do it in a self-sovereign way. But look at the apps that have come online recently, you know, and that's also self-sovereign. But you basically run a Lightning node on your phone, which makes it much more accessible for the majority of the people. Because I think it's not realistic to expect everyone to run a node at home, you know.
That's right. Yeah, and it becomes more easier nowadays because there are a lot of self-custodian applications that are more easy to use. So
and especially with the development of Greenlight, you know, and the Lightning development kits that are coming available, you know, Breeze is doing a lot. Yeah. So that will make it a lot more accessible for also other application designers to make it more broad. You know, I've been testing with Satimoto Pass with my electric car already for more than a year. And of course, this is the way you want to go. And then the privacy aspect of it, you know, who do you share your data with? Because if you pay with your bank account, you're actually sharing all your personal data. Do you want this to go everywhere across where you pay? So it's becoming really interesting, and this could be a perfect alternative for a bit more privacy-focused payments.
And do you also think the narrative should be different to have more people to use Lightning and Bitcoin in some way that they don't know that they're using it, but they're using it nonetheless because the infrastructure is built on Lightning. So perhaps in time we're using it but not know that we use it. And is that mainstream adoption, or do we all need to fully understand Lightning and have a Lightning wallet, or can we use some fiat systems that rely on Lightning and Bitcoin?
It's very simple. If it's a more efficient and faster way to transact across the globe, then most likely it will be used for other stuff too.
Of course.
But the essence is, of course, that we start using Bitcoin. And if that happens, then actually people can start saving again across the globe. And I think that's one of the most important aspects of having a Lightning adoption growth across the globe.
Yeah. How can we proactively address and dispel miscommunications to shift public perception on Bitcoin?
Yeah, for me, of course, I'm focused quite a lot on the energy perspective. So what we do is in the Netherlands the electricity prices are insanely high. So you have to use the heat because otherwise it's not profitable, and you need excess electricity, which we have quite a lot of in the Netherlands. So what you see happening is that we have negative electricity prices quite often because there's so much renewable generation that they can't do anything. So they shut down all the solar panels and they shut down the windmills. But actually we can use that energy with Bitcoin miners. So as long as this is ongoing, the renewable build-out, we will see more and more Bitcoin mining, which is actually excess electricity that we use. So then all of a sudden we have a transaction layer with money that is actually running on excess electricity and that we actually heat maybe buildings with soonish. So we are already doing that with businesses, of course, and offices and these kind of things, but also people at home or maybe home blocks, that will
that's
be
a real
heated.
use case.
And that's a real use case, and that
Yeah.
is going to happen. And then, of course, it all of a sudden changes because the bank is actually your heater. So
Yeah.
it becomes really physical in our life, but it's a much better way than what we are doing currently.
I love this use case because on the other hand you have use cases in Guatemala, for example, to use that it's a possibility within Western countries to use it and do some good. So thanks again.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thank you
and
for the
enjoy
interview.
Bitcoin Amsterdam.
Yeah, and you too.
And see each other again.
See each
All right.
other.
Thanks. All right, we're here at Bitcoin Amsterdam, the second day with Aryan Jabbari from Scarcity.
How are you? How are you?
And this is a nice exposition. And you were at Ordinal Night yesterday also, I think?
I was not at Ordinal
No?
Night. I did not make it. I was at Bri instead at the Connect the World Lightning Meetup, the
That's
best
what we
meetup
wanted
in
to hear.
Amsterdam. Of course.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, and well, yesterday you were here too. I saw some great stuff here. Shows around a little bit.
Sure.
I know
of
the
course.
artists are here, so
Yeah, the artists are here. I just want to point out the Hitomi Matsui's beautiful Kenergy, based off the Barbie movie.
awesome.
These are Bitcoin cans, top 3 bids.
So
Take
brand
home
new.
a can.
Yeah,
These are very
great.
nice.
Love it. The meme factory does not exist. Ah, okay. Let's go this way.
We're going this way here to my
Yeah.
friend Rebel Money. Sometimes a correspondent on Scarcity.
Yeah.
Sometimes does our podcasts.
Yeah.
And he's here with his beautiful artwork. He'll tell you a little bit more about.
Awesome.
So here's Penny Orange. We've got 2 pieces of shirts. This is Penny Orange. Here
Yeah.
we've got Satoshi, the new king. And on this is a stamp. So it's the change of order. This is the establishment. This is based on the penny black, which was the first ever postage stamp, which allowed transmission of goods at a set price. And this is exactly what Bitcoin is doing now. We're transferring value, energy across the world relatively instantly. So yeah, we've got Satoshi's head here, 21 pips around the outside, and on it as well, you might not be able to see here with the UV light on the back of it, we also have the Genesis hash in the background as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember you made also last year the first artwork for Scarcity.
Yes.
What was it?
So the last year was Believe, the
yeah.
piece with Satoshi on the cross, with
Yeah.
HODL,
Yeah.
and we had the Genesis block, and then
Yeah.
Fiat, and then that was turned upside down. So if you turn the piece upside down, the cross upside down, the Fiat was the right way up. So
And you always combine it with history and with well, common cultural history. I love it. That it's
Anyway.
Thanks again, Rebel Money. Where can people find you, except for Scarcity, of course?
So it's on rebelmoney.art, the website, and then at Twitter. On Twitter, it's
Great.
at rebelmoneyart.
Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right.
All right,
Aaron?
now we're going to introduce you
Yeah.
to my friend Gus
Yeah.
with his Fiat standard banknote. Here you go, Gus. Take it over.
Gus.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet
Gus
you.
here.
What is it? Because
So-
I'm looking at something on the wall, but also on your screen.
Yeah, so this is the Fiat Standard banknote.
Yeah.
Probably most Bitcoiners are familiar with the book, the Fiat Standard.
Yeah.
So basically, we are all aware in a broad sense of the problems of infinite printing money.
Yeah.
But actually, like the book that goes through the economics of all the side effects of printing money and this concept of living in a fiat standard economy have really good and convincing arguments of like the evils that
Yeah.
creates this system, right? So I read this book earlier this year, and I decided to make it part of my series of banknotes. I've been doing Bitcoin banknotes
Yeah.
for several years now. Actually, some of the first banknotes are back to 2017, kind of.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so
I've been
long
doing
time.
Bitcoin art. So I decided to make like an evil version of that, right? But I don't like to all just portray like the bad stuff. So it also comes with a Bitcoin banknote energy money. which
Yeah,
is
so
the digital
positive.
version. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So here in cyberspace, in the
This
digital
augmented reality.
with augmented reality,
Yeah.
exactly, you can see how the Bitcoin banknote, which in a way is stored electricity in the
Yeah.
form of energy, I call it energy money, is destroying the legacy debt called economy, right?
Yeah.
So this is basically it. I think it's like pretty
Awesome.
straightforward,
Yeah.
and I just decided to build it in a way that represents the way it really is, right? The legacy money usually is physical. The banknotes are like made of fabric or of paper,
Yeah.
whereas this new form of money is digital, is electronic, and
I like
so
the way
it
it's
represents
portrayed here with the wood, and it symbolizes really that that it's ancient, right?
exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
It's something that
Real
it's
culture.
part of the past,
Yeah.
right?
And then if someone has it on their wall, nobody knows that it looks like this with augmented reality.
Well, I mean,
so it's a surprise.
hopefully the collector has been following
course.
this, and
Yeah.
he will know. And with any augmented reality app,
Yeah.
some of the common ones like Artivive, you can display this, right?
Love
And
your story,
I
Gus.
always also like if I provide on demand the digital file,
Yeah, of course.
if necessary.
Yeah. Thanks again, Gus.
Thanks.
And good luck today, and we'll meet again.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
again.
All right, and now I'd like to introduce you to another one of our.
Last but not least.
Wait,
Yeah.
we have one more.
One
Yeah.
more. All
Not
right.
last.
No, that's great.
Definitely not least.
Yeah.
Patek's soft money on a hard fork.
Thank you. Cheers,
All right.
man.
Patek.
Hi. how are
Hi.
you?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Um, What are we looking at?
Well, this has been quite a hit, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I think people have really geeked out on this one. It's called Soft Money on a Hard Fork, and this is the number one of 21.
Yeah.
There's also a low edition of artist proofs. There's
Yeah, of
there's
course.
3 artist proofs, so
Yeah.
they always get a different. So I hand leaf my work.
Because this is a printed version.
It's print, but there is
Yeah.
a real fork.
Yeah, of
There is
course,
a real
of
fork
course.
which I finely scalpel
Yeah.
with very fine scalpel work. Put the dollars on there. It took weeks, if not months, to finish it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So that's the front of the fork and the back of the fork, and there's like little hidden messages in there. So there's a real fork, which I'll probably only auction in a bull run, I think,
Yeah.
and I'm
Of
still
course.
looking to like display it beautifully.
Yeah.
And then this is the edition of 21, which is hand silver leafed. Each print is hand silver leafed.
Yeah, because I see it
Yeah.
here, and I was thinking, well, these are not normal
Do
prints.
you know what? I'll show you with a. No, because it's very unusual for artists to like hand leaf their work,
Yeah, that's right.
like each individual
Yeah.
print, you know. So
I know a
don't
photographer
can you see
who,
that?
yeah, that's right. Love it that it's, well, it makes
Yeah.
it more unique than only a print, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
in a way, each print is a one-off,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah, of
part
course.
of the series of 21. But I think the humor of this one is, when you get it, right? So, yeah, and
Soft money on a hard fork. Well, the title is also funny.
yeah,
so
exactly. And it took
Not
me forever
real.
to find the fork, and I had to beg a restaurant owner for the fork because it was beautifully proportioned. I couldn't find a nice fork in any of the shops, Yeah, so that one's up for auction today.
Awesome.
And then there's
Yeah.
this one here. This is, if you're interested in Bitcoin whale energy,
Yeah.
there's real prehistoric. So there's like
And
platinum
also
leaf.
painted in. Yeah.
So again, this is an edition of 101. This is number 1. And then there's like beautiful, like orange glitter, and that's hand platinum leaf. So that's real platinum on each
Awesome.
print. And sometimes I think I'm absolutely mad that I do that, but for me it just adds value, long-term value,
But-
you know.
And it is also it combines gold, silver, platinum are of
Yeah,
course
so I
resources.
put real
so
exactly. It's
yeah.
all the scarce resources,
Yeah,
and that came
yeah.
from when I first created that reinterpretation of Plan B stock to flow model.
Yeah.
And that artwork called Genesis, it became so like people also geeked out on it, and the edition was sold out.
Yeah. It also gives
quickly.
light. If the lighting is different, then you see it every time different.
Yes,
I know,
I'm sorry about the lighting here, but
No,
in daylight
doesn't
it
matter.
really does look
I,
amazing.
I know a couple who are an artist, a
Yeah,
woman and
yeah.
a wife, and they print on rice paper with
Okay.
gold leaf behind, and
Yeah.
that also gives.
Yeah.
The lighting is so different.
I think
and
people
strange.
are drawn to the energy of the genuine gold and platinum that I use. I think it's because it's from the earth.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thanks
Thank
again.
you.
All right, now really
Yeah.
last,
Thank you.
not last, but certainly last but certainly not least, we have Flo Montoya with her Bitcoin is Love, her Bitcoin is Love piece.
Hi, what's up?
Because you
Um,
painted it in.
So this is my
There's also
art.
a
This is handmade. This is a
photographer
drawing.
in the net.
This
Sorry,
is
sorry.
love.
Come back.
Bitcoin is love, but also lovers running from Fiat Storm. I did this handmade. This is ink and paint. And here you can see a screen print. This
Free
is-
raws?
Yes. free
Yeah,
raw.
yeah, of course.
Actually, I give 90% of the proceeds of this series to the Ross Foundation. I
Yeah.
just started selling them. I auctioned 5 originals like last month or something. And this was built using the address to donate to
Oh
Ross.
yeah, the
It's on his site. And
his Bitcoin wallet.
Yes,
Yeah,
and if you
wallet
see,
address.
this is replicated all over the building, the image.
Yeah, yeah,
And this card leads you directly to his site.
yeah.
And here are the last piece I'm showing.
Yeah.
Is a seal of Satoshi. These are rings. There are only going to be 500 rings. This is handmade,
Yeah.
silver or silver with gold top. And you can read the kanji, that's the name of Satoshi
Yeah.
in Japanese, and vires in numeris. Each piece comes with the certificate.
Yeah.
So this, you can see the number of the ring, but we also take the block height
At the time of
at the time when
making.
we finish the
Yeah,
ring.
yeah.
And this is also engraved in the interior of the ring, like hand engraved.
Yeah.
So we make each piece like a little more special.
Yeah.
And
So inside the paper, it's the seal of the ring.
yeah, you can also
Yeah.
see we put
It's embossed in it. Yeah, yeah, I love
yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
And I was curious because Bitcoin is love. You gave it that title. Why is Bitcoin love for you? Because I can imagine it.
Bitcoin
so
is
yeah.
love for humanity.
Yeah.
I started this as a series of drawings. I've made Bitcoin is hope, Bitcoin is revolution, Bitcoin is justice,
Yeah.
Bitcoin is hope, Bitcoin is freedom.
Freedom,
And,
yeah, freedom money.
At some point when I've done all those drawings, I thought all these concepts are also like love to me. I feel like this is love for humanity. And also when you think about it, when Satoshi, being a person or a group, creates Bitcoin and then disappears, it doesn't take any profits, and all the steps he takes, it's like pure love, like when you don't ask for anything in return.
So you see it as a gift, and indeed, what you say, nothing in return, so unconditionally.
Yes,
and
and
that
also
means
the final gift is him disappearing.
Yeah,
That's the best
yeah.
gift he could have ever given us. Like
I
he
agree
knew
with
he
you.
was a point. His presence could be could make everything difficult for the system.
Yeah, and I think also setting an example, right? Because of course, with every new technology, you can do the same bad things. So I think in setting an example is the most important thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
and I also put a second title that is Lovers Running from Fiat Storm.
Yeah.
And in that regard, this is like the Bitcoin network protecting us. Like
in Bitcoin
when,
Orange, like a cloak.
Yeah, because when you have to, you need this protection to store your value, and it's the only real way to do it. Like, you're not going to buy a house nowadays. I'm not going to buy a house. Like, I'm not able to protect a house.
All right, we're here at Bitcoin Amsterdam, and I'd like to talk to you because you're from Bitcoin Sranan, you're Maya.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how you started this project there in Suriname.
Well, actually, I've been in the space for 6 years now, or seven-ish.
The Bitcoin space.
I started out mining.
Yeah, it's a long time ago then.
Yeah, 2018, I started with like 20 S9s.
Yeah.
So I was already like a big Bitcoin fan and already a maxi way back when. And I was trying to develop the capital market in my country, trying to develop my own country. So I was working in that for like the last 5 years. And then I saw what happened in El Salvador and how they, made Bitcoin legal tender and how they increased adoption there, or how they built Bitcoin Beach. So I flew to El Salvador in 2021, and I actually reached out to Daniel, who I know from El Salvador, and he gave me the link for 21.world.
Yeah.
So 21.world, you start with a podcast in your local language, and I saw that there wasn't a Dutch fork. So then I forked it, created 21 of the Dutch fork, and then got attacked by all the Dutch and the German community because they thought they were shitcoiners.
Oh yeah.
And then they posted a tweet.
Yeah.
Can you put Maya in contact with Dutch Bitcoiners among the 21 community? And then I got into contact with Ramon, with the guys from the Node Runners, and I got to know the Dutch community here in the Netherlands, and that's basically how we started. And then I wanted to do the same thing, a circular economy, and I worked with Ramon from Connect the World actually to start Bitcoin Sranan, which is really focused on building that circular economy, that grassroots from the ground up.
Yeah.
And we started with meetups. The meetups didn't take off as quickly as we hoped. Like, we thought 100 people are coming.
But it's difficult because it also intertwines with Bitcoin education is also needed, right? So
exactly.
You need some kind of narrative that people know what it is, or in a good way.
I can understand, especially especially in Suriname, the community there, they have bad experiences with. Not Bitcoin itself, but people sold OneCoin there. And
so they're suspicious about.
Yeah, they sold OneCoin and pretended it was Bitcoin.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people got scammed on that, and you have a lot of these pyramid schemes that come through. And of course, if you just Google Bitcoin in general, you see a lot of negativity. So
that's right.
So everybody's a little skeptical. So it was more about education.
Yeah, and more people that are near to other people that can tell the story. Because if you have your inner circle tell you a story, then it's more, it's safer than someone who you don't know.
Oh. Sorry, we can cut that out, right?
Yeah. We're at a busy space, but so that's. What are your efforts in as of this day than when you started? Are there more people now?
So we still do the meetups.
Yeah.
We used to do every Friday, but that became, it's exhausting doing that every Friday and getting people there every Friday. But you do get people, but not a super big crowd.
Yeah.
So we decided to do that once a month. I went to Prague, and at BTC Prague, I met Fernando Motalesi from Pariah Bitcoin. He gave me one of the POSs and explained, how to run the Fruits for Sats program, how to get that up and running. So we started with the Fruits for Sats program, just out of pocket, just started working on it. it took us a while to find an orphanage that would let us. So we found one that was willing to let us do the program. We've been doing it for a couple of weeks, and then at a certain point we started the Geyser campaign, and then we started raising funds on Geyser for it. For a 3-month campaign. We started a BTC pay server campaign for the circular economy itself. And the Geyser Fund, that one is specifically focused on one orphanage right now, the one we started at, Kinderhuis Tamara.
Yeah.
And we were raising funds for 3 months to keep the project up and running. And honestly, it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to manage your own Lightning node and the channels and make sure that there's sufficient funding to.
Do you have some technical people in the community that help out, or are you doing?
I'm the only technical person,
you're
and
doing
I do
everything.
I'm doing everything, so it's a lot for one
but I
person.
think
to do.
that's inspiring. The combination that you say, well, I'm doing the Foods for Sats program, so that's a good cause.
Yes.
And then revolving around that, you can change the narrative to have people see, well, this is something good, and
this is how it works.
Yeah,
and
and
especially with the Geyser campaign, the Geyser Fund actually took off.
Yeah.
Because we used Noster, and we started really using Noster and Zaps, and people like Tanel, Marseille. They work on the Noster report and Platform Radio.
So making it more visible.
Exactly.
Like
they created more exposure.
Yeah.
They changed their Zaps so that all Zaps went to the orphanage.
Yeah.
So that
Great.
all the Zaps funneled to the campaign, and then we started promoting it more, giving it more exposure. And within a couple of weeks, we actually raised all of the funds for that 3-month campaign. But it's not as easy as people think to actually raise it. But it did show that you can actually have people donating small amounts. Like people were donating 1 sat, 6 sats, 21 sats.
Yeah, like
right?
normal in Zaps.
Exactly, a normal
Yeah,
Zap.
micro payments.
Exactly, and raising money from all over the world. More than 500 people donated to the campaign.
That's amazing.
And we raised money for 3 months for that orphanage.
Yeah.
So that
And
shows
how do
the
you-
use case.
Yeah, there is an actual use case, and I think it's within the Bitcoin space. It's the right way because they elevate these kind of projects and really care about them. What do they do with the sets now they have them? Is there some kind of circular economy already?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah. So we're building the circular economy. Basically, the vendor gets paid in sats.
Yeah.
The kids get sats on an NFC card.
That's
they
great.
force
To learn a little bit
a
about.
fictional amount. Basically, they get the sats.
Of course.
They pay 10 sats.
Yeah.
And then they go on the POS and throughout doing this project, the kids actually get very excited. Like now they expect us to come.
Yeah.
Now
of
they're
course.
excited. Now they have requests. They're like, we want a kite. And then they stayed behind to go kiting with the kids. So it's become very a part of their daily routine. And they're getting very used to the NFC cards. And we wanted to start with this orphanage. It only has 14 kids, so it's very small.
Yeah, small.
Basically to learn how to run the program and then spread to other orphanages.
Yeah.
So we're going to be scaling up now that the campaign is fully funded and one orphanage is up and running and doing well. We're spreading to other orphanages, and I've just sent a big box of NFC cards back. So we're going to be printing more NFC cards, and that each kid can basically have an NFC card with their own name, QR code, everything on it.
Amazing.
And then use that for payments. And just the circular economy itself, we've been working on getting mining up and running for remote villages in the interior. I've ordered a couple of Bitcoinized POSs to get more POSs at merchants so that you can actually stimulate more of an actual circular economy.
It's great to see that within your journey you're touching all the problems that need to be solved. So like for example, my first Bitcoin, Mi Primer Bitcoin, is only education, but that's not the only thing. And you have to have it balanced. Like, for example, you're now changing the narrative, so people are liking this, and then,
then the
just like you said,
educational
the
part comes
education
in.
part.
We've already translated Mi Primer Bitcoin in Dutch.
Great.
And then we want to push that, to schools and
It's
get more
especially made
educational.
for young children.
Exactly,
So
to get to get more of that educational aspect also out there, because right now we're
that's
just
very
explaining.
communicable. Also, that really works. So
and now we just explain it to them, but with Bitcoin Diploma we can actually give them curriculum and have it be structured. So I'm actually working with the team at Mi Primer also.
And do you have also already more Mayas, more people that can do the same thing for you, so you can grow a little bit?
Slowly but surely. Yeah, I'm actually I'm teaching my own team.
Yeah, that's the best way
to work. While building this program and building the economy, I kind of wrangled my own team into it, and I'm just teaching them how to do everything.
Perfect.
And in doing, you learn, and little by little, the team grows.
Yeah.
And we have growing and scaling to other orphanages, getting in more volunteers, bringing in more people, and hopefully more funds as well, so we can actually scale it.
And perhaps again those meetups, in time, and then they will be different than before. So
exactly, that's the goal.
Well, nice to talk to you about this, and I really hope that the campaign is still running, right? Yeah. So everybody, if you want to donate, then go to the campaign.
BitcoinSranan.com.
Yeah, BitcoinSranan.com, and then you can help out. And I wish you the best of luck, and we'll stay in contact.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks for being here. We're at Bitcoin Amsterdam, and you're from Bitcoin Ballers.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe you can start explaining what it is.
So, Bitcoin Ballers, a decentralized team. So anyone literally can be a Bitcoin baller. Put on the shirt. You can have an individual, two of you, peer-to-peer, or a team.
Yeah.
So anyone can be a Bitcoin baller, just like Bitcoin, accessible to anyone.
Awesome, and it's like a tournament, right?
So today we have a tournament, Footy Park, which is 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
At 4:30. After that, we'll be heading to Bry for Connect the World Meetup.
Of course.
Yeah, so not forgetting you guys. But so in the UK, I host tournaments, and I enter teams as a tournament, and I do workshops, go into training sessions with teams.
Yeah.
Just doing my bit, my Satoshi's work.
And what kind of workshops do you give there?
So just training sessions. We talk about self-discovery, self-ownership, self-discipline in terms of football, relating the terminology to the sport, and then when they go away, they might hear these words. When they touch Bitcoin, they'll be able to relate it to their everyday life.
Yeah, so you're connecting the narrative of Bitcoin with sports and a team spirit.
So proof of work,
Indeed.
peer-to-peer transfers. We have a game called 21 Seconds to Glow, getting off zero. All the terminology is there, and also the principles and philosophies. Fighting the FUD, self-belief.
Love the connection, because then you're really with a community of people that are not only into Bitcoin, not only learning, but also playing a competitive game.
Sport, understanding how sport works. You're not always going to win. Sometimes you'll be up, sometimes you'll be down. But if you DCA, do your work over time, in the future, you'll be up there.
And I can imagine where you come from. The payment service providers of the fiat world are working pretty good, I guess. But we're, of course, from Lightning community. And I'm curious, can you pay there with Lightning for your groceries or something? Or
where I'm from, I'm trying to onboard people. I'm at the moment onboarding a restaurant. I've onboarded our local football club, Oxford City, who accept Lightning payments. With part of the games giveaways, I always offer Lightning rewards and teach people how to download wallets and set up QR codes and raise invoices. And
that's
stuff.
right, when the right way to start, right? Because then you can have the community at a place who is also orange pilled, so they are also learning about the possibilities with Bitcoin through Lightning. So that's great. And are you also using Nostr within the community, or
not within the community? Myself, I use it. just recently downloaded a few more clients on the way over. So really enjoying how Nostra works and exploring that.
Because then you can, of course, lure them all into the decentralized possibilities of Nostra and Lightning, and that's a great way to interact with each other. So
we had a great conversation yesterday at the Connect the World meetup for Nostra.
Okay, that's right.
Communications decentralized.
Yeah, that's nice because we were there, and Will Kesserin was speaking from the Nostra client Damons, and a couple of other guys. And I think it's so interesting that same as Lightning, right? That we're at the beginning of something that could really be something that everybody can use in the future. So it's so early
to be alive, and
indeed
you look around and you think, is this really happening? But it is. You see the people around here today. Everyone has.
That's right.
I say a common cause. They have a common understanding.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own take on it, but that's the great thing about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm using football. People are using art.
Indeed.
People are using music.
Yeah.
Passions. When your passion collides with Bitcoin, amazing things can happen.
Well, and I was thinking about technology and humanity. Some argue that as technology progresses, the risk distancing from humanity. So perhaps it's getting more difficult to interact. But when I hear your story, I think it's great to combine it with something in the real world like sports. So
you can argue technology has always been advancing from the time we came out of the caves. But
indeed,
the technology brings us closer together.
Yeah.
Today, Bitcoin Ballers is a decentralized team. People can play under the Bitcoin Ballers brand across the world. People can send sats over to Bitcoin Ballers wherever in the world they like.
Nice.
Recently, I used IBEX Pay for a young baller who was playing in Japan at a tournament. And they were streaming him sats for his performance when he was scoring goals, doing tackles. He was getting sats in real time. So the technology is bringing people closer.
Indeed, and you're bringing it to other countries as well. So awesome. If someone wants to know more about Bitcoin Ballers, what should they do?
So they can find me on Twitter, Coach Carbon. They have to search Josias Carbon, so Josias Carbon, Carbon.
Nice.
Bitcoin Ballers Academy is on Instagram, Bitcoin Ballers Club.
Yeah.
I also have my webpage, coachcarbon.life, and you can see everything I'm doing with Bitcoin on there with Bitcoin Ballers, and also my podcast, the Carbon Life Pods, which is hosted on Fountain.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fountain FM.
Yeah.
And also shout out to Geyser.
Yeah.
Geyser Fun, they got me started. And also shout out, to Coin Corner. So with Coin Corner and Geyser connected, they enabled me to purchase a football kit, which we play in tournaments with. So I can now always feel people at tournaments with the Bitcoin Ballers logo, the Coin Corner logo. People are asking questions, and that's all we can be, just out there on the ground doing the work.
Awesome. Thanks again for having this talk with me, and
thank you very
have
much.
a nice time on Bitcoin Amsterdam. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.